Switzerland has one of the highest migration rates in the world. Nearly 40% of its population was either born elsewhere or is of direct migrant descent. This is more than 1 in 3 persons. Now, many of you sitting here were born outside of Switzerland. And you might consider yourself an expat, or you might be a refugee. But these terms, some invented, some legally binding, come with prejudices. So I suggest we put all the positive and negative biases aside and go back to basics. The definition of a migrant: a person born in country A, living in country B, regardless of their social status. When we hear about migration in the media, it's bad news. But what it actually is, it's good news. You see, migrants have founded some of Switzerland's most successful companies, like Nestlé. Migrants dug tunnels connecting the country to Europe and the rest of the world, the so-called seasonal workers. To this day, migrants play a crucial role in the country's economy, as they are the CEOs of most top Swiss companies, and in some areas, such as tourism, migrants fill up to 50% of jobs. Switzerland and Europe cannot function without migration. Moreover, the IOM, the UN Migration Agency, considers the health and well-being of migrants a prerequisite for social and economic development everywhere. So how does it feel to be a migrant in Switzerland today? Well, from my humble experience as a pretend migrant, not so great. You see, growing up in Switzerland with a Swiss last name, my identity was never questioned. I belonged. Later on in life, I got married, I changed my last name, and this changed my life. All of a sudden, I was confronted with a change of tone in the emails. My contact person would be concerned about my background, my permit situation. Could it be that I would not be Swiss and all the problems that would go along with it? To me, the difference was that I was married. But for some, I had become the other. I asked myself, what is the other? Who is the other? Is it just an abstract feeling of fear? I decided to go look for the other and listen to the other. What started out as a personal challenge soon became a source of inspiration. I am a trained anthropologist and I have a passion for interviews. I founded the Instagram account Migrants in Switzerland. The account tells the untold stories of migration. It gives a voice, it gives a say, a new life to people who have migrated here. Over the years, I interviewed family, friends, people I meet on the street. Sometimes I look for specific people to highlight specific phenomenon. Like statelessness. Imagine having an XXA under nationality on your document. Imagine what it means on a practical level for your everyday life, but also on a personal level for your identity. The African migration to Europe. Imagine risking your life 7 days and 7 nights on an overcrowded pirogue on the high seas, praying the second engine will not break down as the first one already has. Imagine being Ukrainian in Switzerland today, knowing that as soon as the war is over, you have to go back home, no matter what home means at this point. One day, through a migrants organization on Instagram, I came across a person in his attempt to get out of prison. As he finally did, he agreed to meet, but right before meeting him, I questioned myself. What am I doing here? Meeting someone who has just been released from prison. I have no business here. I was scared, but I did the interview anyways. And I met a very sweet person, not a scary criminal. This person had been put in prison as he refused to go back to a country which was no longer safe for him. He wanted to stay here, have a decent life, have a decent job, and be useful for society. He was so annoyed at not being allowed to work, that he would go to the supermarket, put the groceries in the bags for the elderly, just so that he would feel useful. This person wanted dignity. I think a feeling we can all relate to. On this day, and on so many other days, working on my project, I experience it. I am the other, and the other is me. We have differences, we share similarities, but above all, we're complex and we are humans. But this particular experience made me question myself. Who are we to judge someone based on their life situation? What do we know about them? Well, we know nothing. Before sitting down with them, before talking to them, there is fear, arrogance, prejudice. So what if we were grateful for the other's presence? What if we dared get inspired by their life experiences? Let's change this narrative. Let's be curious. Let's start a conversation. Because as we do, we all go back to just being humans.